Welcome to another edition of SKNIS Week in Review, a program that highlights the top stories of the work of the government of St. Kitts and Nevis for the past week. A look at some of the highlights for June 22nd to 28th, 2018. Hundreds attended inaugural Diaspora Conference. Grade 6 students graduated from Moving On Up Transition Program. Customers afforded added comfort with new offices for Inland Revenue. And Department of Labor exceeds targets for workplace inspections. I am your presenter, Sherma Matthew. Kittitians and Nevisians who reside abroad gathered at the St. Kitts Resort on June 26 for the historic inaugural Diaspora Conference, an initiative that is intended to foster positive relationships and partnerships with the diaspora. Minister of Foreign Affairs and Aviation and Premier of Nevis, the Honourable Mark Brantley, speaking at the auspicious event, noted that the conference is intended to capitalize on the presence of a significant number of nationals resident abroad who effectively constitute St. Kitts and Nevis's diaspora.
This government-wide undertaking demonstrates the premium that we placed on fostering positive relationships and partnerships with you, the members of the diaspora. I am therefore delighted to welcome back to our shores our nationals living in the United States of America, Canada, the United Kingdom, the British and U.S. Virgin Islands, the wider Caribbean, Europe, and farther afield. Whether you had the honor of being born here, had a parent or grandparent who was born here, or joined our Kittitian Nevisian family through other means, it is our hope that your brief visit will be enriched by the hosting of this Diaspora Conference.
The three-day conference was held under the theme Building Partnerships Towards Sustainable Development. It was spearheaded by the Ministry of Foreign Affairs in collaboration with key stakeholders including the Chamber of Industry and Commerce, the Ministries of Tourism, Finance, Information Technology, the St. Kitts and Nevis Information Service SKNIS, the Citizenship by Investment Unit, the Nevis Tourism Authority, and the St. Kitts Investment Promotion Agency. The timing of the event was significant as it fell on the heels of the 18th Anguilla, Nevis and St. Kitts Associations Reunion and SAR, and a precursor to the 22nd Annual St. Kitts Music Festival and other related festivities. In related news, the government of St. Kitts and Nevis is actively considering offering financial incentives to members of the diaspora to encourage them to invest more and play a greater role in shaping the economic landscape of the Twin Island Federation. This was revealed by the Deputy Prime Minister, the Honourable Sean Richards, at the opening of the inaugural Diaspora Conference.
We are making this appeal today. Give us your projects wrapped with love. Our government is ready to throw its vigorous support behind diaspora entrepreneurs. We encourage you to identify market opportunities and create and invest in new projects that will spur further economic and job growth in your beloved homeland.
Hundreds of delegates participated in the three-day conference. It featured a cabinet panel presentation, youth forum under the theme Building Capacity Today for Success Tomorrow, and two open forums, Growing to Give Back and Peering Development Abroad and at Home. The Inland Revenue Department, a critical revenue collection agency for the government of St. Kitts and Nevis, has moved its operations across the street from where it was to the John Gums building on the Bay Road Bar Stair, effectively offering customers a more spacious environment and accessible service. Comptroller of the St. Kitts and Nevis Department of Inland Revenue, Mr. Edward Giff, said that the new location not only offers more space, but that it boasts an advanced queuing system as well as dedicated service areas that allow for greater privacy for customers when conducting business.
In our opinion, no other public organization touches the lives more on a daily basis than that of the Inland Revenue Department. We also are of the strong opinion that we are the most frequently contacted of all public institutions within the government of St. Kitts and Nevis. Our ability to manage this relationship and achieve healthy and sustainable levels of compliance is a critical factor in shaping public attitudes towards the government.
Prime Minister and the Minister of Finance, Dr. the Honorable Timothy Harris, reiterated that the Inland Revenue Department plays an important role in the proper functioning of society. The Finance Minister also used the occasion to urge individuals to be in compliance with the various tax laws and obligations, and made reference of the property tax amnesty program introduced by the government, which runs from June 1st to July 2nd, 2018. The St. Kitts and Nevis Inland Revenue Department remains strongly committed to executing its responsibilities, encouraging compliance, and making it easier for citizens and residents alike to do business. This was echoed at the blessing and ribbon cutting ceremony for the new location of the organization. Edward Gift, Comptroller of Inland Revenue, described the new location as customer-centric and spectacular, while at the same time expounding on the institution's responsibilities, which include revenue collection, administration of laws of St. Christopher and Nevis, and improving the business environment so that businesses and citizens can easily comply with their obligation.
The Inland Revenue Department does not take these responsibilities lightly. We understand that ensuring consistency in the application of the laws we administer assists in facilitating competitiveness of business in the Federation by providing a level playing field for all. We also understand that managing and sustaining high levels of compliance, it means that we must not be an impediment to business. We must ensure that our compliance activities not only allow companies to compete within the Federation, but on the global scale.
Mr. Giff explained that Inland Revenue's approach to compliance is best described in the institution's mission statement, which reads, to administer the tax laws in an efficient and equitable manner, to promote voluntary compliance, to maximize the revenue for the development of the Federation in a manner that warrants the highest degree of public confidence in our professionalism and integrity. The Inland Revenue Department is currently focused on improving compliance in 5 broad areas, namely expanding customer service to taxpayers, enhancing the department's legal framework, modernizing the department's operations, addressing specific compliance issues, and improving on relationships with stakeholders. The ballroom at the St. Kitts Marriott Resort was filled from wall to wall with over 600 grade 6 students from across the Federation on June 25th, who gathered together for what was dubbed the Moving On Up National Grade 6 Career Jamboree, to celebrate their pending transition to high school and to graduate from the Moving On Up Grade 6 transition program. Prime Minister and Minister of National Security, Dr. the Honorable Timothy Harris, expressed how pleased he was with the students and the program and encouraged them to prepare to play the part in the future for the career paths chosen.
What is refreshing is that the group of young people we have gathered today are all committed now to be the best that they can. Our future then is in good hands, and so I would want to wish them all the very best as they move from primary into secondary schools. It is really good because at this tender age, they have mapped out their chosen career path. And it is always interesting when we start at the end and work back. Because if these young people very early have determined what they want to be, then they will work each day to achieve their particular target.
The students had business cards created to reflect the career paths they wanted to pursue and came dressed for several roles, including that of soldiers, doctors, nurses, lawyers, athletes, and chefs. There were even a magistrate and a golf instructor among them. The program ran throughout the entire school year and was facilitated by Dr. Niels Chaitan and Mrs. Ann Chaitan, with support from the Ministry of National Security. Each student received a certificate of participation and a special award called the Dream Chasers Award, donated by Warner's One Stop, which was given to a child in every class who best showed use of the concepts and an improvement in their attitude. At the end of the ceremony, the students separated into groups based on their career path of interest, and persons employed in the various fields interacted with them to share some insight on their chosen careers. The Department of Labour has exceeded its target numbers for safety inspections at workplaces around St. Kitts, already surpassing the total that was recorded in 2017. Figures shared by the department revealed that in 2017, there were 164 occupational safety and health (OSH) inspections at a number of work environments, including buildings, farms, and construction sites. In fact, 94 inspections, which are slightly over 57% of the annual figure, took place during the fourth quarter of last year. The total for the first 5 months of 2018 is up to 193. The original target was set at 50 OSH visits for the first half of the year. Senior Labour Officer and Head of the OSH unit at the Labour Department, Lesroy Brown, explained that the inspections essentially include a review of safety protocols and procedures employed at the businesses. He said that the increased efficiency is as a result of changes pushed by the Senior Minister and Minister of Labour, the Honourable Vance Emery. This included expanding the number of OSH inspectors, which jumped from 4 in the early part of 2017 to 10 as of March 2018. Additionally, a 14-seat bus was purchased in January 2018 to transport the labour inspectors. Mr. Brown added that the increased presence by the labour officials has been welcomed by all sides, as the inspectors are often bombarded with questions about matters relating to severance, overtime, and other matters relating to the labour laws. The open dialogue between the parties was described by senior labour officials as good business. The Thursday, 21st June, widely identified as the longest day of the year, was a red letter day for the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. The Canadian publication of Maple Leaves and the Caribbean Seas was launched under the distinguished patronage of His Excellency the Governor-General, Sir Tapley Seaton. His Excellency was joined by Minister of Foreign Affairs, the Honourable Mark Brantley, the High Commissioner of Canada to St. Kitts and Nevis, Her Excellency Marie Legault, and High Commissioner of St. Kitts and Nevis to Canada, Her Excellency Sherry Tross, who together led the evening's celebration of 35 years of diplomatic relations between both countries. The book, which is a salute to Canada's 150 years of relationship with Barbados and the Eastern Caribbean, highlights their common story, heritage, and partnerships in development. St. Kitts and Nevis was the first country chosen to commence this launch. Minister Brantley highlighted the significance of the strong people-to-people ties that cemented the friendly relations between both countries. This, he said, is one of the main aspects of this relationship that the government is working hard to keep strong.
This includes addressing the visa issue, as I did during my recent visit. It also includes attracting more Canadian visitors and investors through aggressive tourism outreach, and by working with airlines such as Air Canada to achieve more airlift. Indeed, we were all very pleased to have heard recently that Air Canada will now fly direct from Toronto to St. Kitts 6 months out of the year instead of only the winter season. And while we were there in your hometown of Montreal, Excellency, we had very good conversations with Air Transat and are hopeful that Air Transat will fly from Montreal to St. Kitts in the near future. We have supported two-way study opportunities. More and more Canadian students come here to study, and our students likewise find academic opportunities in Canada. For many years,
young people attending the 35th Summer Residential Camp, staged by the Department of Youth Empowerment, will learn more about how they can care for the environment while making a positive contribution to national development. The theme for the July 22nd to 29th, 2018 camp is Preserving Our Land of Beauty, which refers directly to the opening of the national anthem of St. Kitts and Nevis, O Land of Beauty. The department's acting director, P. Liebert, said that focus will be placed on educating, empowering, and facilitating the 150 campers between the ages of 8 and 16 years to become actively involved in protecting the environment, which in turn can lead to improvements in communities across the Federation.
Clean environment helps to foster warmth, happiness, comfort, belonging, responsibility, and pride in community and oneself. And we believe that we should, engage young people in acknowledging and accepting their own responsibility to ensuring that St. Kitts and Nevis is kept clean all the time. And we've had a number of initiatives involving volunteers and the volunteer corps in doing cleanups around the country, and this is just pretty much an expansion of that, and we do intend to see more young people getting engaged in preserving our land of beauty.
Major sponsors for the annual camp are the Global Environment Fund, GEF, and the Sandy Point Art Association, SPARTA. To date, contributions have also been received from Christoph Harbour and the St. Kitts and Nevis Development Bank. The acting director of youth encouraged companies to confirm their commitments as soon as possible, as the camp's opening is fast approaching. Others willing to contribute to the annual camp can contact the Department of Youth Empowerment at 662-6054 or visit its offices at the Cable Building on Keon Street. The St. Christopher and Nevis Parliamentary Branch was recently represented at the 43rd Annual Conference of the Caribbean, the Americas, and the Atlantic region of the Commonwealth Parliamentary Association, which took place in Grand Cayman from June 15th to 23rd, 2018. The delegation, which was led by Speaker of the National Assembly of St. Christopher and Nevis, the Honorable Michael Perkins, included Senior Minister, the Honorable Vance Amory, and Clerk of the National Assembly, Mrs. Sonia Boddy Thompson. A total of 16 branches of the 19-member organization from across the region were represented at this important parliamentary conference. Specially invited delegates from the parliaments of the United Kingdom, the Isle of Man, Nova Scotia, Canada, and Cuba were also in attendance. The conference, which was hosted by the Legislative Assembly of the Cayman Islands, was held under the theme Building Small Developing States. The plenary sessions provided an excellent opportunity for delegations to discuss issues affecting their various countries. The topical issues discussed were relevant security systems for government entities and including parliaments of small developing states, relevant education system to build the economy of small developing states, relevant population growth in the multinational jurisdictions of small developing states, and how should CARICOM respond to the focus of deglobalization? How will this affect the Caribbean, the Americas, and the Atlantic region? According to Speaker Perkins, and I quote, "The conference is an excellent platform for dialogue between regional parliamentary colleagues, where they not only discuss issues affecting their respective legislatures, but also discuss critical issues impacting their various territories, while at the same time find solutions to properly address these issues." End of quote. A team of deans from the Clarence Fitzroy Bryant College appeared on Wednesday's June 27th edition of Working for You to engage the audience in a discussion on the programs offered at the CFBC, the qualifications required for admission, the graduate requirements, and other matters relating to the educational program at the institution. They implored residents of St. Kitts and Nevis to gain technical qualifications in order to reduce the fallout of external economic shocks and to keep pace with demands of the local labor market. Andrew Abraham, Dean of the Faculty of Technical, Vocational, Educational and Management Studies at CFBC, explained that technical skills are valuable to any economy and cited the global recession of 2007-2008 to support his point.
The economic downturn that we had in 2008, the economies that basically survive or thrive best during that period are the ones who are really focused in that area of technical training.
Mr. Abraham explained that the CFBC is playing its part in laying the foundation for residents to capitalize on the growing opportunities spurred by major developments such as the construction of St. Kitts Ramada Hotel, Seaview Hotel, the East Line Bus Terminal, and the second cruise pier at Port Zante. Thanks for viewing SKNIS Week in Review. I am Sherma Matthew. See you next week as we continue to update you, the general public, on what's happening in and around the Federation.